All right, let me try this. All right. Now you should be able to hear me. Okay, let me know. Can you hear me now? So it told me it was live, but apparently it wasn't. And now it says that it's moving. So you're still not getting anything, Nancy? Is it the same for everybody else? Now you hear me. Yay! Hallelujah. Okay. Thank you guys for letting me know. So now I know there's one more step I have to do that I was missing. All righty. So welcome everybody to the first Monday in March Metaphysical Chat Livestream. So glad that you're here. Looking forward to having a fabulous time with you tonight. So if you are subscribed to the channel, then you can leave questions. I think that's the way it is. And if you're not subscribed, if you're not able to leave a comment in chat, then just subscribe, and in 5 minutes it will let you do that. I'm not sure where that setting is, so you'll have to let me know. Sorry, a lot going on right now. So guys, so excited to see you. Esteban, Betty, Dina, Nancy, Amy, Errol, Esteban again. Yeah, sorry. Jelly Beans, welcome. So glad you're here. Kimmy and Mark. Wow, Mark, it's so great to have you here. What a pleasure. Hopefully Janny will be popping in soon. Yeah. Janny came up this week when I was writing my newsletter on Sunday. I was writing about the songs that come up sometimes in these live streams. And as I'm typing, all of a sudden I hear Surf City, which reminded me, oh, I think I got that song for Janny like a couple months ago that had some special meaning for her. So I don't know if there was something going on that was about Janny, because that's kind of what it felt like. So I'm looking forward for her showing up, and let's see what that's about. Linda, welcome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So you guys, I'm just going to kind of tap dance a little bit here for a couple of minutes and let more people arrive. But go ahead and start putting your questions in chat. Remember, this is metaphysical. So, if we get through the metaphysical questions, then we can go into personal if there's still time. But challenge me, give me some good stuff. Let's dive in. There is so much going on in the universe right now that we need to dive into and ask about. And if you haven't seen the March forecast from Metatron, definitely want to look at that, because he talked about how it's so important for us right now to practice discernment. I'm hearing a lot has been coming up for me, so maybe you've heard it too, about this is the time when we really need to be on our toes as light workers, because there are false prophets out there, and they might sound like they're on the light worker path talking about love and light, but there's some things that are just a little bit off about them. So for each one of us, that's the big challenge right now, is practicing that discernment, because, if they're talking about fear and bitterness, that's what Metatron specifically mentioned in the March forecast, fear and bitterness that we should watch for. And when that's cropping up in the work, then maybe, they're not on the same path as you are. So just use your discernment, and do that even with my stuff. I'm coming to you with the intention to bring you the love and light of the angels. But hey, I'm human. I could get it wrong too. So for everybody that you listen to, for everything, Metatron says question everything, even things that you have maybe believed all of your life. What if you suddenly went through this awakening, and you suddenly got this hit that, gee, that doesn't feel true for me anymore, because that can happen. That's part of the ascension process we're going through, where our eyes are being opened to things that maybe we just always taken for granted. And now it's time to look at them through the clarity of light and love to see if they really are true for us. And if they're not, discard, no problem, move on. But it's that awareness that we're being asked to step up into, higher level of responsibility right now. And March, things are just heating up. So yeah, time to be on our toes. All right, let's see what we got going on. Yes, Jilly, it's your first time. So glad you could be here. Hi, Felicity. Who else have we got? And Jilly said, yeah, discernment. Absolutely. And because, sometimes we're like lambs to the slaughter, because we're out there with these hearts of give and love, and we just want to believe that everybody's like us, but they're really not. So, and we've also been told by Metatron that the other side is really stepping up their action right now, because they're feeling that we're getting closer to that big culmination before we flip over the top of our roller coaster into Earthtopia. So they're putting up the pressure too. And it's just incumbent upon us to be more responsible, to be more aware, take care of ourselves. Because after all this work, we don't want to slide into the abyss. Susanna, welcome. What is the best way to ground this month? Okay, it's probably going to be different for everybody, Susanna, but let me ask for you specifically, and then we'll see if it's generic response. So Susanna wants to know, what is the best way for her to ground this month? Oh, I'm hearing that song, Any Way You Want It. That's the way you like it. Something like that. I forget all the lyrics, but I'm hearing that song, Any Way You Want It. I hope you know what song I'm talking about. But anyway, Susanna, so what they're saying is, yeah, do what feels right to you. You know, sometimes we get caught up in rules that other people have put out there, and they may or may not be true for us, which is what I was just talking about, right? So you might hear people tell you, let's say, for instance, with your pendulum, they might tell you that you've got to cleanse your pendulum and you have to put it out there on the full moon and charge it and all kinds of rules. But guess what? Those are their rules. If they don't resonate with you, then you don't have to do them. I don't do anything special with my pendulum. I pick it up and use it, and my full expectation is it will perform the way I want it to every time. And it does, magically, right? Because that's my intention and my belief. So there is a place to question all these rules that come at you. Do they resonate with you? Do they make sense? And if they do, great, honor them, do them. But if they don't, then feel free to let them go, because we are all unique souls. We're all wired differently. So what's true for you may not be true for somebody with a different gift. So it's, oh, thank you, Jelly Beans. Awesome. So it's just incumbent upon us as part of our growth to feel into that, to give ourselves the opportunity to decide what's true. So sorry to get off on that rant. I hope that makes sense to you. So, and you're saying for everybody. Yeah, everybody. Any way you want it, that's the way to do it. It's perfect for you. You make those rules. Now, I will tell you the caveat is, we've talked about this before. If you're new, you want to listen to this. When you are dowsing, or when you're doing any kind of clairvoyant work, you're channeling, et cetera, mediumship, my belief is, and you'll see if this is true for you, that if you first do your opening prayer or ask to access your Akashic records, you are setting the stage so that you will be successful, because you'll know that the information is coming from a place of love, light, and truth. You can trust it 100%. As long as you have connected with the records first. So that's the one caveat I would throw at you. Again, it may not be true for you. So far, I haven't found anybody it's not true for, because it's just a really good little precaution to take to make sure that you know and you can trust the information. So I just want to layer that on top. Let's see, the chat jumped on me, so hang on for a second. Where did we leave off? Yeah, Mark, we'll have to ask her when she gets here. Betty, you've been told you're a Palladian. I can ask, but generally, Betty, I don't do that, because that is part of my soul introduction reading, which I go into your records and I do the research. So I'll see what I get for you, but that's not something I normally do. So for Betty Max, she believes she's a Palladian. Is that true? I get a yes on that, Betty. Yeah. And, you know, that brings up another topic, because whenever I share this with people in their readings, I explain to them that, yes, you can go on Google and you can do all this research you want, let's say for Palladians, and just use your discernment, because some of it's garbage and some of it's truth. You know, there is a channel out there that is purporting to be channeling angels, and I watch that stuff and just shake my head, because it's like, oh my gosh, where are you getting this stuff from? It's just so out of the ballpark of what I know that's come from the angels. So again, that's their truth. They're entitled to it, but take it all with a grain of salt. What you get, run it through your truth filter. You know, in your solar plexus, you have got this filter where you run things through to feel them. Do they feel true for you? Is this the best choice for you? Use that. It's a tool that was given to all of us so that we can be more discerning and get it right more often than wrong. Because we're not perfect. We're not always going to get it right, but it's there for you to use. Kimmy, you keep saying observe, don't absorb. Yeah, that's really wise, Kimmy. That's great for everybody to consider. Mark, you like to see accountability, but with forgiveness and compassion. Oh, absolutely, because we're not here to judge any other souls, Mark. We just want to know whether this is somebody who we can trust or not, so that we don't get led astray. Because I don't know if you probably didn't hear about it, but last month, somebody, I think it was Janny, was asking whether this one particular group that's predicting some big thing on the 23rd, whether they were a group that were true and we could trust. And when I asked the angels, I got a definite no. So then later I went and did a little bit of research, and what I found out is that they have been accused by a lot of people of being a cult. They're bringing people in, they're cutting them off from their families, they're taking their money, and even though they talk like they're light workers, that stuff going on in the background tells me that they're not light workers. So something to be aware of. But they can so easily trick you because they've got this beautiful website. They're using the right language. So it sounds like we're all on the same page and, hey, we can walk this journey together. But no, they're really not. So that's where we need to be. But yeah, absolutely. Because, even Charles Manson, Creator says Charles Manson is a perfect soul. As hard as that is for us to wrap our minds around. So who are we to judge? I mean, yeah, on the third dimensional level, he's got to serve his time. But from the soul perspective, he's a perfect soul. He's just at a very different place in his soul journey. He's got a long way to go and a lot of karma to clear up. But yeah, I mean, we were all there once in a past life where we've gone through lifetimes where we haven't been such good people. Maybe we've killed and stolen and all of those things before we got to a more awakened place in our journey. So yeah, and it's also not good for your own soul to be in judgment and to hold those ill opinions of these people. So it's just see them as another beautiful, divine, perfect soul, bless them and move on if they're out of alignment with what you believe to be true. Jilly, you keep feeling lots of changes in March. Yeah, that's what everybody is feeling. And, Metatron said things are heating up, and he wasn't kidding. The energy is heating up. And I don't even know from an astrological perspective all the things that are supposedly coming, but I keep hearing bits and pieces because I don't follow the astrology that much. But I know on 3/3 there was supposedly a portal, and on 3/23 there's a portal. There might be some more. I don't know. It's energetically really speeding up. And we have all felt, most of us have felt this shift in this energy that it's propelling us forward even faster. And my gosh, we were going fast enough before. So we had a little bit of breathing room in February, and now March is just taken off. Linda, is there a difference between letting go and not holding on to? Oh, what a great question. So for Linda, what can you tell her about that? Is there a difference between letting go and not holding on? Yeah. So they're saying when you're letting go, you are energetically disconnecting. It's like there's that old meme that talks about if you love somebody, let them go. If they come back, they're yours. And if they don't, they never were. It's kind of like that kind of a feeling. So you let go, you essentially release all the ties that were there energetically, just allowing them to go on their own path. And maybe you'll never see them again. And maybe you will, who knows? But yeah, you're releasing them to get that energy disconnection. That's a different thing from not holding on. So not holding on, it's still around, but you're not disconnecting. I hope that makes sense, Linda. Let me know if you have more of a question about that. Sometimes I get a little off track and I don't get the exact answer you're looking for. So you got to let me know. Ask again. It's okay. Nancy, you're getting protection messages. Do we think this is general guidance for the light workers right now? Okay, so for Nancy, what are these protection messages about? Is she needing more protection right now? They're saying you don't need more protection right now. But, of course, if you feel that you do, then you do whatever rituals you need to protect you. For me personally, I'm holding Metatron's hand all the time. So there's my protection. I don't need any more than that. And maybe it's an invitation for you, Nancy, to reach out and develop a closer relationship with your angel team. Because when you do that, I mean, they're surrounding you. What more do you need than that? But on the other hand, if you have that deep feeling inside of you that you do need it, then go for it. Call upon it, whatever format that looks like for you. Know that it can be kind of a crutch. So you use it until you don't feel a need for it anymore. It's part of the spiritual ascension. I think when you get to a certain point, you're probably going to feel that it's just not necessary. But absolutely. Now, having said all of that, I will bring you back around to this caveat. The Healing Love soul group and the Sensitive Organizer soul group, those two specifically tend to be victimized by their gift of being empaths, being highly sensitive people. For them, protection is more of an important thing. Now, I fully believe that they will, as they grow into who they are as a soul, they step deeper into it, and that higher level of responsibility won't be necessary anymore, because that's the whole point, right? We're growing. But until that time comes, for them, it's really important. Now, beyond that, if you're not one of those two gifts, and you still feel a need to do it, then do it. There's no judgment. You do what feels best to you. That's the important thing. So let me know if that makes sense. Hey, Sister of Six, great to see you. Much love to you too. Hang on, it jumped on me again. Any way you want it, that's the way you need it. Thank you for filling in that lyric for me. I couldn't remember it. I could hear the song, but I couldn't remember the lyrics. Yeah, it's probably one that came after my time, because I'm stuck in the 60s and 70s with music. Oh, Journey. Thank you, Jelly Beans. Awesome. That's the one. Yes. Kimmy, you're feeling ascension symptoms like ringing in your ears, sharp pains, fatigue. Is it just your imagination? Well, caveat, I'm not a doctor. If you're feeling things like that, you might want to consult a doctor, but let's ask on the spiritual level just to see what your angels have to say. So for Kimmy G, the ringing in the ears, sharp pains, fatigue. Is that a third dimensional issue that she needs to look into? It's ascension symptoms, yes. Okay, so can she expect these symptoms to abate in the near future? Yeah, so what, like more than 2 months? Less than 2 months, great, okay. More than a month. Yeah, so between 1 and 2 months, they should abate. And with having said that, Kimmy, it also depends on the action you take in between now and then. Because remember, when we take inspired action, when the angels drop their breadcrumbs and we act upon it sooner, we can speed up the timeline. So that's always in your hands. It can go slower, it can go faster, but right now, as things stand, it's between 1 and 2 months. You should get a relief in those symptoms. You hear song lyrics too, Julie. I'm not surprised. You guys, Julie is a very talented tarot reader, and I met her on Bridge Cape Ann with Corey. So if you haven't seen that channel, check out Bridge Cape Ann, because it's really some fine programming there. And Julie's been coming on recently to do readings. You are so welcome, Betty. Julie, a couple of those channels that give channeled messages with in quotes? Yeah, you can feel they're not connected. Yeah, some of us can feel it, Julie. The thing is, a while back, somebody who I thought was really spiritually attuned referred me to one of these channels, and I was stunned, because, wow, it's so clear to me this person is on a different path, and it wasn't clear to that person. But it's not for me to tell them that it's not true. I can say, listen, I don't get a good vibe from that, but you've got to decide what you do about it. So yeah, I've been astonished since 2016, and even a little before, been astonished at how many spiritual people have been fooled by some of the goings on out there. And we'll just leave it at that. Hey, Victor, glad you could join us. Dina, in your reading this week, we discussed soul specialization, and you were advised that you're here to observe and gather data regarding progress by fellow blueprinters. And we talked about discussing that today. Yeah. Okay. Let me just ask about that. Any clarification you can give Dina about her role as an elder council member? So they're saying, Dina, feel your way through it, because it's not your specific soul purpose. It kind of runs alongside of it. So it's, I'm not thinking of the right word, but it's in addition to. So you get to decide how much you lean into it or how little, and you also get to write the rules. So you are gathering data. You will distribute it whenever, that point comes that you distribute it. But the way that you do it and how much you do of it is up to you. You always want to put your own soul purpose and journey ahead of that. That's your priority. But then this sits right there beside it, like, let's say under the armpit, right? It's that close. So yeah, it's there, and you're going to feel that compulsion to fulfill that role. So just allow yourself to kind of flow with it for a little bit. You've just learned about it. You've got to feel your way into where does it fit in your life. Also, I would encourage you to reflect back over, the last couple of decades and see if you can notice any points in time where you feel a connection to that, because that's really helpful in finding where it connects, so you can see how it was showing up and what you were doing about it, which then leads you to the next step. So let me know if that's enough or if we should delve a little deeper. Auntie D, can Metatron tell us more about how solar flares are affecting our bodies? And is it part of the ascension process? Great question. You're so welcome. So, Metatron, can you tell us about solar flares? Are they affecting our bodies? I get a yes on that. So can you clarify a little bit? What are they doing? He's saying you don't need to worry about them. They're not harmful to you. You are aware of them because you have tuned in, because you are moving into that awakened state of energy where you feel these things where you might not have in the past. So the fact that you are more tuned into Gaia, you're picking up those clues. That's all a good thing, but it's nothing you need to worry about. And what else did you say? So it's yeah, okay. So it is kind of part of the ascension process. It's like a side benefit, as you ascend and your body just becomes like sonar. You are picking up so much more that you never got before. It was always there, of course. It's just now you're tuned in and you're receiving it. So here we are. If you remember the old radios where you had to actually tune it by turning a dial, we are just tuning our dials to get more finely tuned in so that we will pick up even more of these signals, because they've been out there all this time. And now we're getting them. And then once we get them, we have to kind of figure out what they mean and where do they fit into who we are and what we're doing, and into our understanding of ourselves. So let me know if that makes sense. Amy, does your current personality have many versions of this lifetime going on at the same time? Once you're on the other side, could you experience those other versions if you choose to? Okay, cool. So for Amy, are there multiple versions of the Amy present personality out there? Yes, there are. But there's nothing you need to do about them, Amy. They're just giving you a more expansive soul journey. It's like multitasking, but you don't interface with them, if that makes sense. So when she gets to the other side, what about that? On the other side, then they all merge, because your soul all comes together in the fifth dimension. You are that complete soul when you get back there and you leave the body. So, that's a good question. Let me ask this. So all those versions, will they exit the planet on the same day and time? Yeah, I thought so, but I wanted to be clear on that. So yeah, it's like that one soul energy comes in and it gets put into multiple little containers, and then they each go off and live their variations of the Amy lifetime, having slightly different experiences. So then when you get to the fifth dimension, you're going over your life journey and what are the lessons. You're going to have, multiple journals essentially to go through, because all the different versions of you, and then you will combine that. It's like if you saw the conversation I had with Elvis in one of my afterlife videos, he talked about how the guy that I was speaking to then was the combined version of Elvis the Soul. So he didn't sound quite like the Elvis that we would have been familiar with here in the third dimension, because he was coming from that higher perspective of having all of those lifetimes and experiences combined. And sometimes they'll do that, and sometimes they'll be more like the third dimensional one that we knew. And that just varies greatly depending on the situation. But it was a really interesting comment, so that, kind of set off some bells and more understanding for me. Linda, that makes sense. Awesome. Victor, is it okay to ask our guides, angels, and teachers for confirmable evidence on our gifts and messages we receive? I seem to be receiving messages from various ascended masters and teachers. Absolutely. Yeah. They don't get offended if you ask for confirmation, Victor. We all feel that need for validation. That's why I tell you guys, you're asking me questions. I'm giving you whatever answer I get from your angels. But unless you respond and let me know whether it was helpful or it was, correct as you know it, I have no idea how accurate I am. And it shouldn't matter, because this is my job. I'm just channeling what I get and trusting that it's in your best interest. But being humans, yeah, we all like to know that. So as you are rather new on this journey, it's perfectly understandable that you would have those doubts. We all go through that. In fact, that is the biggest barrier for people who want to learn to open their gift and channel, because they'll start getting these things and the ego's back there mocking them, saying, you're making all this up. You're crazy. That doesn't make sense. So you've got to get over that hump, trusting that what you receive from your angels, ascended masters, teachers, whoever it is in your highest and best interest, that it is love, truth, and light. And that brings us back to that conversation we had earlier. You might have missed it. That's why I teach that you really want to open your Akashic records first. That way you can trust it. Because if you've opened the records, then you're not going to get anything that is not in your best interest. They love you to the moon and back. All they want to do is help you. So you can trust that. And of course, sometimes, ego can get in there and twist things a little bit, but you rely on your angels. You go with that discernment. And definitely, if you feel at all unsure, ask them to send you some kind of a sign for validation. Ask them to, come back and give you more information, whatever it is you need, because they want to help you make that connection. They dearly love when you put in the time and the effort, asking for their help, expanding upon your gift. So yeah, lean into it, baby, and go for it. You will love it. KT, are the spiritual gifts that you have hereditary? If so, how many generations? Okay, so for KT, these spiritual gifts that she has, are they hereditary? The spiritual gifts, no, KT. No, those are part of your soul. They're always with you. When you were created at the very beginning, Creator took a gift, a soul specialty, and a tribe, and then a gender, and put those pieces together as your soul matrix. That never changes. That has nothing to do with bloodlines. That's who you were wired to be forever. And each lifetime, you are becoming more an expert at being that. So it's as those aspects combined together, that's what makes you the unique soul. Now, you can have tendencies that are hereditary. So let's ask about that. So does KT have sensitive tendencies that run in her blood family? Yes, I get a big yes on that. So yeah, it's a combination, which is really wonderful, because now you got a double dip, right? Just terrific. And okay, so how many generations has this been going on? This inheritance she's received. So it's less than 10. That's 100% true. I'm getting 9, KT. So for 9 generations, it's been passed down. I don't know if you've been able to track your family and get any validation on that, but yeah. And also remember that not all of the people in those older generations would have been free to talk about their gifts. So even if they had them, they might not have told anybody. Victor, the zip up tool is essential and critical for you as a sensitive organizer. Yeah. Yeah. And Victor, that's referencing back to what we were talking about earlier, where sensitive organizers, being so energetically sensitive, need that extra help. And yeah, use that zip up as much as you need. Just knowing, Victor, that one day you will tone your muscle to the point where you don't need those tools. But in the meantime, absolutely use them, because it's such a tragedy that people are victimized by their gift, the very thing that Creator gave them with that spark of love and light to use for the good of themselves and humanity, that they see it as a curse or, a victimization and aren't able to use it to the fullest. So yeah, that's part of what we're doing, is teaching people that it's not. So let us help you understand what an amazing gift it really is, so that you can lean into it and use it to empower yourself, because Creator would never have done that to you. This is all given with love for your empowerment, for your amazing soul journey. So as much as we can, let's tell everybody that. Don't be victimized by your gifts. Pick it up, get empowered, spend time with your angels, connect, and that's why Metatron keeps sending all these messages. So much love for us. I wish I could find words to convey to you how much that love is. But if you're connecting, you're probably feeling it. But it's just like, oh, so massive, the love, and so pure. Just knocks you down with the power and beauty that it is. Nancy, you don't really feel the need for extra protection, so you've been surprised at the cards, but you feel that reminders to invite Michael and Metatron are more on track. Oh, so do you mean you've been drawing cards and you've been getting protection messages? That's interesting. Do you open your records before you pull the cards? Because if you don't, you might be getting ego in there whispering in your ear that you're not safe, that you need protection. So let me know if that's what it is, and then try opening the records before you go into the cards and see if that makes a difference. Because ego is so sneaky. And that's why we have to do the processes to make friends with ego. In my first book, Akasha Unleashed the Missing Manual to You, there's a whole chapter about doing this ceremony, making friends with your ego so that there's less friction. Get ego on board with your soul journey, and then it's so much easier. That was incredibly transformational for me. And that came from the angels. They instructed me to do that. So that's there. And there's also in the gifts that come with that book, there's a link in the book to get the gifts. Excuse me. There's a recorded version of that meditation to connect with your ego, so that you can, ego, higher self, and soul, come together in common purpose. When you do that, then ego really gets on board. And it's so much easier because there's not so much conflict. Now, ego is never going to totally give up, because, that's what it's there for. But it just becomes less of a encumbrance on you, if that makes sense. You're welcome, Kimmy. Jilly, since I'm new here, are karma debts something the Akashic Records can provide guidance? Yes. There's a reading that I do that is finding karmic blocks. So it's whatever is showing up in your present life that is connected to past life karma. It's trauma from past lives. So we go in, we find out, what is the story? What happened? What is the lesson you were supposed to learn? And then once you understand all of that, there's a clearing ritual to get rid of it. Truthfully, which is so cool, as soon as you learn the story, it's like that energy starts dissipating. It's almost like it's rising up off of your body, being transmuted as soon as you know the story. But the clearing ritual is like putting the cap on the bottle. So it's you setting your intentions, following through. I want this gone. I don't want this again. I want to keep the lesson, but I want to let go of all that trauma. And then it's like dominoes fall. So if, let's say, something happened 15 lives ago and still showing up today in one form or another, like repeating patterns are a big one. So you find that source 15 lives ago, and then it's like dominoes toppling all the way to the present. So any lifetimes where that was connected, it just clears all of that, like going down a ski slope. It's really cool. So did I answer your question? Karmic debts. Yeah. Yeah. It's all in the records. Everything about you is in the records. It's just a matter of learning how to go in there and access it. And there are many ways to do that. I like to use my pendulum a lot. That's one way. And channeling is another way. There are other people who have different methods. You really can't get it wrong. It's your desire, your intention to connect. and then being open to receiving the information. In the beginning, when you're first connecting, it can feel a little odd, and a lot of interpretation has to come into play because, oh my gosh, do they like to give you symbols and cryptic messages? And the reason they do that, they're not playing games with us. They do that because they want us to be proactive on our own behalf, taking our power back, figuring out, because most of the time they can't tell us straight out anyway, oh, this is what you need to do, because that would be impinging upon our free will. So they do these roundabout metaphors and symbols and interesting stories to lead us to the answers. So clues, it's like playing detective as you go through and figure all this stuff out. But after you've done it for a while, it gets way easier because you will recognize, oh, when I see that, it means this to me. And then they'll keep using that language. You are building a language with your team as you do this. Like if you listen to John Edward, he says, oh, pink roses mean this to me. So anytime the guides show him pink roses, he knows what that means, irrespective of the person. For him, that's the language. It's a little different with the Akashic records, but there's still some similarities there that are really helpful once you cotton on to what they're doing there. And you'll notice in these recordings that we do, these group sessions, certain songs come up over and over because they're a common theme that even if they are ancient, because I'm kind of ancient, even if they are ancient, a lot of people understand what they mean. They're maybe a classic that they've heard, and the lyrics are pretty easy to understand. You don't have to do a lot of work to figure out what it means. So those songs will come up a lot. Okay, hope that makes sense. Let me know. Victor, thank you for the thumbs up. You are so welcome, Jilly. Errol, is there any message for me from Metatron? So for Errol, Metatron, what do you want to share with Errol tonight? So what I was just talking about, these songs that come up over and over. Gray skies are gonna clear up. Put on a happy face. That's what I'm hearing for you, Errol. So that would mean that lighten up in your life. Yeah, there's a lot of heavy stuff going on right now, but put fun, put adventure, put joy in your life every day to some measure. Find something that you can reliably repeat that puts you into a state where you can have belly laughs. Belly laughs are so healing. They are so wonderful to help you in your day-to-day life. And if you do just 5 minutes of that a day, it will transform your life. Because with all of the shifts that we're going through, with all of the challenges, it's so easy to fall into that place of work, tunnel vision, not having fun. And the angels always say, if you're not having fun, you're doing it wrong. That is an important piece of our journey. We need to incorporate the fun, the playfulness, because that shifts our energy. Shifting our energy opens more doors, opens our eyes. So important. So wherever you can, Errol, even if that means going out and skipping down the sidewalk, just bursting into song, go play in the park on the swings, whatever that means to you, go out there and have more fun, because things are getting better. Even though people are buried under 5 feet of snow right now, but we are moving towards things getting better. And those are just temporary challenges. We will get through them. So let me know if that helps. I lost you. Oh, there you are. Okay. I had you and you jumped. Hang on. This is so frustrating. Hang on, almost back. There you are. Krissa, joining a little late. Happy to be here. Glad to have you here. Yeah, anytime you can make it is a blessing. We just are so glad to have your energy here. Dina, thank you. That helps much. Oh, I'm so glad. Hey, Beth, glad you could be here. The angels and guides were correct about this being the start of good things for Lipsology. Oh, yeah, do tell. And you guys, if you don't know, Beth reads lips. And that's not like for a deaf person. She reads the patterns on your lips. It's kind of like palm reading, I think. That's how I see it. And she is able to tell you a lot about yourself by reading your lips. It's fascinating. And last I knew, she was one of only 9 people in the world certified to do this. There's probably a few more now, but it's something really special and cool. So, if that excites you, connect with Beth. Suzanne, I'm not sure if it's okay to ask. You've been feeling stagnant for a while. Feel like you're coming out of it, but you're having trouble getting from this moment to reaching your soul purpose. Oh, Suzanne, I know. We all feel that at times. So don't be hard on yourself when it happens. Notice it and then take positive action to shift out of it as quickly as possible. Because what happens, the longer you stay in that energy, the further down the abyss you slip, and it's harder to get back out then. So change it up quickly. Go take some kind of new action. Go have some kind of fun. Shift that energy. And depending on how your soul is wired, for some soul gifts, that's just, you can even go mop the floor and it would help shift you out of that energy, because it's the action. When you take some kind of action, the energy starts moving. And when the energy starts moving, then it's easier for you to see the breadcrumbs for your angels to get in there and help you, because they're like, that sport of curling where the angels are, when it's curling, it's people, but they're out there with those brushes grooming the ice so that this puck will slide effortlessly across it. Your angels are out there curling your path for you. They are clearing it as much as they can of obstacles to help you. So that's going on all the time. Get out there, take that action, knowing that they're going to be right out there in front of you, helping you each step of the way. So just as soon as you notice it, bring in the happy thoughts, take some new action, get your body moving. All of those things will help you. So try that for a while and see if you feel different, and come back next month and let us know. Victor, thank you. We appreciate you beyond all you do and continue. Oh, thank you, Victor. I appreciate you too. Jilla, you always ask for a sign. Yeah, so wise. Hi, Nima. Great to have you here. Debbie, can you ask my guides about the recent pain in my lower left abdomen? Is it something I need to be concerned about? Okay, so for Debbie, pain in her lower left abdomen. Is that a third dimensional issue? I get a yes on that. So this is something it would be wise to consult a doctor? Yes. Is there also a connection to something spiritual? No, this is really third dimensional, Debbie. That's what they're telling me. So get that checked out soon. Anything else I can ask about that? Well, if you want to know more, leave me another question. I don't want to go off on a tangent on that might be concerning. So rather than me jumping to conclusions, if you need to ask more, you can ask more. But right now they're just saying, see a doctor and get it looked at. But the one thing I want to leave you with is I don't feel like it's something urgent, life-threatening. It's just something that needs to be taken care of. Kimmy, there's a lot of talk about manifesting things in your life like money, but what if, say, something like having lots of money is not part of your life path? Okay, so for Kimmy, let's just ask the question. Is it true for Kimmy that having an abundance of money is not part of her life path? No, it is not true. No. Is it true for any soul? Are there any souls that deliberately intend to be poor in this lifetime? I get a no on that. Although, if we think about it, that can mean different things to different people, right? So, like Mother Teresa, I mean, you might look at her and consider her poor, but I'll bet you she looked at herself and felt she was rich because she had all of these blessings. And when we think about Jesus, he was out there working for free. He didn't get paid, but he got paid in kind, didn't he? His needs were met wherever he went. He was fed, he was clothed, he was given shelter. So that's manifesting, if you think about it. Part of it is our perception of what manifesting is. If your needs are being met, you are manifesting that, right? You can manifest more of it. You can manifest different things. But I think if we get too caught up on dollars and cents, that can really lead us astray. It doesn't have to be dollars and cents. It can be so many other things. And when you come to a state of gratitude for all the amazing things you've already manifested in your life, for yourself and for those blessings, instead of looking at what you don't have, you open the door for more to come in. It's when you focus too much on what you don't have, or I said I wanted this, you said the answer is yes, but where is it? That's putting you in that state of lack. And that's like pushing away what you want to come to you. There's an answer to a question I posted on Medium, I think it was last week. It's the freelancer's lament. Where's the money? I'm out there doing all this stuff. I'm manifesting like crazy, but I got to pay my bills. Where's the money? So there's a great channeled answer to that on Medium that you can check out if you need more on that. So let me know if that answered your question. Dina, is there anything in your soul contract preventing you from accessing psychic gifts? Oh, interesting. So for Dina, is there anything in her contract or otherwise blocking her from accessing her gifts? No. Ego. It's all about ego. When you set your intention to connect, you've accessed your records. Whatever comes through, accept it. Don't question it. Because so much of it, you question, you think it's ego, and you disregard it, when really it's your angels and guides trying to get through to you. So yeah, maybe there'll be a phrase or something that ego can sneak in there, but by and large, when you're connected to your records, your intention is pure. You're looking for love and light. You're going to get what you need, even if it sounds outlandishly crazy. Remember a couple months ago, I told you that I don't believe there are spaceships inside of the Earth. And yet I channeled a message where I was told very clearly there are spaceships inside of the Earth. And I'm like, oh my God, this is cognitive dissonance for me. How do I do this? But, they've proven to me over and over that what they tell me is true. So I have to go with, I'm wrong. Apparently there are spaceships inside the Earth. Go figure, right? And one day when it's important to know more will come forward. But, for right now, that's them helping me adjust and go with this new information, incorporating it and figuring out where it fits into the grand picture. And when I need to know more will come. I hope that makes sense. KT, thank you. It's very helpful. I'm so glad. You're welcome, Victor. Hi, Betty Max. Felicity, can you ask my guides to speak to the surrealist identification I've had in this incarnation? Tuning back into this again feels like it expands channeling and artistic expression. Oh, that is really cool, Felicity. So for Felicity, what can you tell her about this surreal experience she's having? It's how you always were, Felicity. It was just blocked because you weren't at the place where you were ready to tap into it yet. You had to get through clearing up some karma, going through some experiences, being ready to expand and allow, because, some of this stuff is really outlandish. And if you had received it before you were ready, you might have dismissed it. And that could have detoured you from this path. Years ago, I didn't believe in reincarnation. And look at what I'm doing now, for crying out loud. But I didn't. I grew up with the Christian Bible and all that stuff. And it's like, no, reincarnation can't be real, because then Jesus wouldn't have had to die for our sins. Well, guess what? He didn't. That wasn't what the story was about. And because we've been so lied to about so many things, we don't have this understanding. So it wasn't until decades later when I first encountered Abraham and hearing those teachings. And in the beginning, oh boy, I'm thinking maybe I don't want to do this. But something drew me in. And slowly over time, listening to Abraham, I softened my stance. And then I heard Joseph Campbell, Power of Myth, talking about how the Jesus story, the virgin birth, was not even an original story. Mind blown. Well, if it's not an original story, then there goes that. And so that opens the door to believing in reincarnation, right? And it spiraled from there. And they kept teaching me more, but they were, spoon feeding me as I was ready to receive more. So for all of us, we go through this process, unless you were born so awake that you believed in all these things to begin with. Now, I know when I was 4, I had conversations with Jesus, but I had forgotten all that until I had my awakening, and then it came back. So wherever you're at is perfect. Just go from there. Enjoy the heck out of what they bring you. Ask for more and just flow with it. So what you're experiencing now, it's like, wow, what a ride you're on. You are just flowing. It's phenomenal. It's like you're on those wooden logs at the theme park where they go, shooting down the hill and everybody's giggling because it's so much fun. And you're in that state. How marvelous. What a blessing. It's going to keep getting even better. Now, you might get a place where you hit a plateau for a while, which is very normal because we have to have time to incorporate all the new teachings before we're ready to go to the next one. I was just having that conversation recently with Metatron. It's like, you've given me a lot. I feel like I'm getting a lot of the same stuff, just in different words. Maybe it's time for an up level, although I was a little bit afraid to ask for that because, gosh, who knows where that would go. But I think it's time. And I've been feeling an energetic shift. I don't know where it's going, but I'm on board wherever they want to take me. So it's kind of like that. Let me know if that answers your question. I'm not sure if I rambled too much, but hopefully it makes sense to you. Nancy, is that the zip up that Donna Eden teaches? Yes, it is, Nancy. And for people who get a reading with me, if they are a sensitive organizer or healing love, I send them away with the zip up. If I didn't send one with somebody, it would be because they are already tuned in and they know that their gift is not a curse and they didn't need it. They already, through their life experiences, had found their way through to that empowerment, which is really beautiful. It's rare, but occasionally somebody does show up. But yeah, so the zip up, anybody who in a reading expresses to me that, they're feeling like they need some protection or they're feeling victimized, whatever their gift, I would recommend the zip up because it's such a great, simple tool. So yeah, that's it. Nancy, you've not opened your records before the card readings, but you've invited the angels in to share guidance. Yeah, and you can do that, but what if you just say angels and some random angels come that aren't coming from a place of love and light? Because, they might exist. I don't know. So for me, and of course, your experience is yours and it could be different, but I just don't want any doubt at all. So I just access the Akashic records first, and then I can just trust and go. And then once I've opened my records, I just keep them open. I don't close them. Some people recommend you close them because, you don't want that flowing all the time. And I say, heck, I do. I want that energy flowing all the time, so I don't close them. But when I go in and do a specific session where I want to get information, I open them again. So it's just like a refresher. Let's make sure this link is solid and connected. So where did you go? Yeah, I would try it just as an experiment, Nancy, and see if you feel or notice a difference, because you want to have confidence in what you get. You don't want to have that uneasiness that, gee, what's going on? Why are they telling me I need protection? Because remember earlier we talked about Metatron encouraging us to practice discernment, because if messages are coming through that cause us fear or bitterness, if that's the energy, then there's something off about those messages. They're not from your angels. They're from somewhere else. So you're feeling this kind of concern about, why do I need to be protected? And that's not what comes from your records and your angels. It's all just feeling so loved up. It's like you're full to overflowing. You can't take anymore. That's what you want to feel when you're connected to your records and your angels. Linda, are the elementals starting to make their presence known? Also dragons? I think so, but let's ask. So for Linda, elementals, are they getting more active recently? Yeah. More people are noticing them, but also remember, more people have ramped up their frequency. They're at a higher level where they're able to perceive these things that were always there, but just invisible to them. And that's what's going to happen for all of us. The higher up the frequency chart we go, the more our eyes will open, the more we'll see things that were always there. We didn't see them before. So that's part of it. And does that include dragons? Yeah, dragons too. So if you're of a mind to connect with the elementals and the dragons, invite them in. Go to your records, invite them in, have a party, have a conversation, see what they have to contribute to your life journey. That would be really cool. And then let us know. Rachel, recently you saw kind of a movie in front of your eyes of a medieval time with people dressed with period clothing. Was that a sign of clairvoyance or what we call time travel? Oh, cool. So for Rachel, was she time traveling? No, you were not time traveling. So it was a message. Was it a past life remembrance? Okay. Yeah. Past life remembrance. So Rachel, that's actually pretty common. When I go into the records, I will see what looks like a movie. Sometimes for emphasis, they'll put it on a movie screen just to be sure I get it. So it's like they'll play this movie and they will show me whatever it is I need to know. And sometimes that is a little story, a vignette from a past life to help connect the dots. So yeah, it sounds like that's what you got. You got some kind of a past life. Now, when you go back in, ask them more questions. Which past life was it? What was I supposed to learn from this? Whatever questions come up for you, because there's definitely something really important there that's connected to the present. They don't bring these things up randomly. It's always purposeful. So if you got it, it's because it's somehow connected to the present. Maybe some of the players in that scene are in your life today, and they're helping you make that connection. Or maybe it's some experience, some lesson that you needed to bring forward. But there's more there. They've given you this little treasure chest, and now it's up to you to play detective, decipher the clues, look up the symbology, ask them to help you get more clarity on what it's all about. But super exciting. So happy for you, Rachel. Jilly Beans, you know you carried a lot of generational past life karmic debt. And so thank you. Oh, yeah, you're so welcome. Everybody does, Jilly. It's normal because we've had some pretty crazy past lives. And if you're a light worker, you've been maimed and tortured and exiled and killed in so many lifetimes just for being who you are, which is why in this lifetime, so many light workers are hesitant about being public with their gifts because they have learned through past experience. Talk about behavior modification. They have learned if they show who they are, they pay a really steep price for it. So little wonder they're hesitant to bring it out in this lifetime. But this is the lifetime we all came forward to lean into who we are, to be more fully our authentic selves, because that's what's needed for us to shift the earth into the next level of evolution, which is we're calling Earthtopia. So yeah, very normal. Victor, the Little Book of Meditations is an essential and great read for anyone looking to expand their consciousness. Oops, you jumped. Where'd you go, Victor? Oh, there you are. You recommend it, the latest book. Yes. And you know, I actually brought it because I wanted to show it to you tonight. So if you guys haven't seen Little Book of Meditations, check it out. It's on Amazon. This book has got 18 meditations that came from the angels and or Metatron. Most of them are Metatron, but there are meditations in here for healing, for celebrating, for connecting, just getting love. Where did the table of contents go? These were all picked by Metatron, by the way. I have a whole bunch of them. So I went through them all and I asked Metatron, which ones do you want to include? What order do you want to include them? So this is like all directed by Metatron. Sacred Time with Divine. There are short ones. There are longer, but I think the longest is only like 22 minutes. Peace and Calm. There's a beautiful Christmas star meditation that you can do at any time, but it's really great to do with the holidays. So yeah, it's all in here. And they're here in writing so that you can absorb the message. Then there's a link in the book that will take you to the audio versions of all of the meditations so that you can then listen and have the experience. So by doing it in that order, when you actually do the meditation, you can give yourself over 100% to the experience and not be wondering what's coming next. That was the whole idea. And this is just another tool to help you get through this time that we're in. So yeah, check it out. It's on Kindle Unlimited. So if you've got that plan, you're already paying for it. You might as well go get it, right? Anyway, thank you for the push there, Victor. I appreciate that. Jilly's songs are huge for you with receiving messages. Yeah. The funny thing about that is I have hearing loss. And so I'm not always on tune, which makes me self-conscious about singing in public. But don't you know, they keep bringing the songs. No excuse. Get over yourself, baby. So just got to do it and hope that the people understand. But yeah, they love to bring songs and it's fun. It's part of the energy. Beth, any messages for you? Okay, so Beth, what would you like to share with Beth tonight? And don't tell me put on a happy face again. Yeah, I'm hearing that, Beth. Isn't that funny? You do lip reading and they're saying put on a happy face. Let's see. Is there a connection to her work and that song? Is that what she's been missing? Yeah, okay. So what is it? Can you give us a little more clue? Beth and the happy face. It's more of the joy of what you're doing, Beth. It's like you're doing it, you love it, you want to do more of it, but there's a level, there's like, you turn a dial and you click up to the next notch. There's an up level that's there, that's waiting for you that you haven't done yet. More fun, definitely more fun needs to be injected into that. There's something like taking the lid off. And I'm seeing, those cans where you take the lid off and they're joke cans and they spring out with all this stuff. There's that level of levity that's missing from what you're doing. And maybe you bring things like those fun things to the parties where the people are waiting for their turn to get their lips read. And these fun things are going on at the same time. It's up leveling the energy. That's what they're saying. So I hope that makes sense. Soak on that for a little bit. And then on the third Saturday, we can talk about it some more if you can make it. If not, there's always next month here. Nancy, you love the songs. I'm so glad. Richard, welcome. So glad you could be here. Any messages for Richard tonight? What do you want to share with Richard? Something about finances? I'm hearing that song, money, 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 money. If you know that song. I don't know what the lyrics are. So look up the lyrics to that song, Richard. But they're saying it's something about finances. So can you give us any more details on that? Is this something he needs to look out for? Something that's coming? Yeah. It's like something that's coming towards you. It's almost feeling like a freight train. So they're telling you to be on your toes, get ready to move quickly. There's something that's coming that needs quick action. And is it something that he's capable of handling with ease and flow? Yes. Yes. You're capable of handling it with ease and flow if you're on your toes, you see it coming so that you can step out of the way. It's like that freight train and you're on the track. So if you're not paying attention, if you got your back turned, you're standing there reading a book, and there's no sound from the train, it's going to run you over. So it's you being in a state of awareness, watching, preparing. And remember, Metatron's been telling us for months, have your go bag ready, have your place stocked up, because there are so many things that are coming, these disasters that are happening, these climate disasters and accidents, you name it. A lot of things are being stirred up right now and coming at us. So for all of us, it's important to be on our toes, watching for those signs, because the angels will be there. I mean, they'll be tugging on your elbow saying, come on, Richard, you got to get off the track. But if you are not in a state of connectedness, paying attention to those messages, you'll miss it. And then there could be disaster. So it's you really being on your toes. And I don't feel that there's anything you need to worry about or get scared about. That's not the point. They never worry or scare you. It's forewarned is forearmed, so that you can be prepared to look for it and then take decisive, positive action. So let me know if that helps, Richard. Hang on, getting a little dry here. Hey, Janny, so glad you could be here. I was telling them earlier on Sunday when I wrote the newsletter, I was telling you in the newsletter about the music and how some songs have been repeating for people. in different months, which is really weird because I don't remember what anybody got for the most part. But I do remember you got, I think it was Surf City or maybe it was Surfing USA one time. And as I'm writing, I start hearing Surfing USA. And it's like, oh, that's kind of weird. Is there something going on with Janny? So I don't know. Is there something going on with Janny? Did you need to have that reminder about Surfing USA? Because it was just so random that it popped up in the middle of a newsletter. So let me know. Nova Theory, hey, glad you could be here. Good afternoon and night. Can you ask my spiritual team if they have any messages, any new hobbies you should look into? Cool. Okay. So for Nova Theory, what would you like to share with Nova Theory tonight, this afternoon? Oh, so I'm getting the T-Bird song, and she'll have fun, fun, fun till daddy takes the T-Bird away. Remember that song? Maybe you don't remember it. You're probably too young, but you can Google it and find it. I think that's a Beach Boys song. You guys correct me if I'm wrong. So that's about, what consequences to actions, right? Have the fun, but make sure that you do it in a way that you're not going to create more problems for yourself. Because what was that? The girl was being reckless with the T-Bird and dad had to take it because she was a teenager, right? So let's see. So are you telling Nova Theory to be more cautious? Yeah, it's about being a little more cautious. Now, don't in any way stop having fun, but just keep your eyes open, be a little more cautious, make your choices a little more carefully, being sure that you run them through your solar plexus to see if they feel good. Because, if you think, what is the best choice for me, your ego is making choices for you. If you feel it through your solar plexus, your soul is making choices for you. That's always the way to go. So figure out what feels best, do that, see if that shifts anything for you. It should. And then hobbies. Would it be wise to look into more hobbies? Sure. If you're asking the question, you're thinking about it. So if there's room in your life and it feels good, then yeah, go do it. I'm seeing you now dancing around, like tap dancing around, having a lot of fun. So whatever it is for you that feels good, that's missing in your life, go do it. Don't wait. Grab that brass ring, the carousel brass ring. Grab that and get the gusto from your life, because you didn't come here to play small. You came here to live large, to express the desires of your soul as you expand. So more joy, more fun, and let us know next month. Jilly, it's interesting about reading lips. Yeah, I hadn't heard of it before until Beth told me about it. So it's really cool. Beth, I don't know if it will let you, it probably won't let you leave a link in there, but maybe you can describe where they could find the video that you did. I know you've got that interview with Melinda. You could send them there, just explain how to find it so they could, get a sense of what it's like. It's so fascinating because who knew you could do that? But the other thing, I was thinking about this, Beth, I have noticed as I've gotten older that my lips have changed the way the lines are. I didn't know lips did that. I just figured we had the same lips through our entire life, but guess what? We don't. And I was aware of that because you talked to us about this lipsology. And so it's fascinating. I don't know how often the lips change, but, there's a whole thing there to be explored. And what is it? It's energy work, right? It's reading the body and the shifts and the changes. It's a heightened level of awareness. So it's phenomenal on so many levels. And yeah, you guys connect with Beth if you want to know more. Oh, there's only 5 people who are doing it right now. Wow. So even more important to get out there and share it with people, because it's just another way to get answers for empowerment. That's what it's all about. And the way I understand it, she can discover things and pull them out of you that you didn't even know were going on. So it's a whole different way of tapping into energy and learning more about ourselves. And that's the whole purpose here, right? Constantly up-leveling, learning more, getting that higher level of understanding of who we are so that we can live our greatest and best lives. Nancy, you love the curling analogy. Yeah, they showed me that a while back. It just cracked me up because if you can imagine, picture angels in their white robes, with their halos and their wings like they're pictured. Of course, they don't look like that, but, picture that out there with those little brushes scraping the path in front of you. It's just so funny. But that's how diligent they are. That care, that seeing to our needs at such a minute level to make sure that, they're doing everything they can to help us. And we just have to make a little bit of an effort to meet them. You don't even have to go halfway, they'll meet you wherever you are. So just a little bit of effort can have huge, huge shifts and changes and benefits for you. How interesting. We had a big spike at just a little after 8 o'clock. A bunch of people must have had to go do something at 8 o'clock. And now more new people came back in. That I see the little chart there. So we have 21 people here now. Cool. And we still have a little bit of time left. Let's see. Do we have more questions? It jumped again. Hang on. There we go. Okay. Janny, you're curious about what Metatron has to say about gender dysphoria. Okay. So, Metatron, what would you like to share about gender dysphoria? It's a real thing. It's not made up. So in case anybody was thinking that, they're wrong. It's a real thing. And it happens when people have this disconnect with their body. They feel like it's like wearing shoes and clothing that's the wrong size for you. It's so uncomfortable. And it chafes. Can you imagine that? Your body chafing, metaphorically, of course. So it chafes and it's so difficult. And it's there all the time because most of the people were aware of this at a young age. So, oh, wow. So the download I just got is, imagine as a child, you've got all these things you're going through, you're learning, you're growing, you got puberty, you got your parents on your case, you got people bullying you, all kinds of things you're going through as a child. It's like a jungle sometimes getting through childhood in one piece and peace of mind. So you got all that going on. That's the normal stuff, the hormones and everything. And now you add on this feeling that your body is chafing you because it doesn't fit. You know something's wrong. You don't know why. Most people around you don't seem to feel that. So what's wrong with you? And they internalize it. They internalize. Because most of the time, there's nobody that would understand that they can talk to. They don't understand what's going on. So it's a big problem right now. There are souls forever that have come in and they've incarnated as the opposite gender of their soul. So their body would be a different gender than their soul. That's normal. We've all done that over and over because we wanted that grander experience. So imagine they come into this life, they've chosen to be the opposite gender, and this time it sucks. They don't know what to do about it. They don't know why it's wrong. It's just wrong. And it's a real struggle for them. So instead of being supported, listened to, and helped, they get judged, they get shut down, stuffed away, little support. People don't understand. So what Metatron wants is for us to all open up our hearts and just know that every single soul is perfect, just the way they are. If we can just see that, love and accept them, no matter what your beliefs are. They're a perfect soul because God, Creator, said so. So who are you to judge them, criticize choices or lifestyle or anything? God says they're perfect. Isn't that good enough? So if we can shift into that way of being, more oneness as we all come together as divine souls, united in common purpose of creating a better world, sharing love and light, abolishing war, hatred, and bigotry, that will ease their burden. Because if they just got some understanding, maybe they don't need to have surgery. Some probably would want to, but maybe just being understood is all they're asking for. Isn't that the least we can do? So, yeah, that's what's coming right now. Let me know if you need more on that, because I'm not sure where you were really going with the question, but that's what I'm getting right now. Oh, thank you for the plug, Victor. The soul reading will give you insight into the aspects of your soul to realize and accept your inherent gifts. Highly recommended. Much appreciation to you, Victor. You are so wonderful. Nancy, thank you for opening the records first advice. Yeah, you're so welcome. Nancy, often it's just these tiny little tweaks that we make, and nobody told you, so you didn't know, right? And it's just a matter of really connecting with what feels right to you, what your soul is telling you, because your soul's got the goods. Nobody else can give it to you like your soul. But until you get to that point where you can connect, trust the answers, and then implement them, soul and your angels, it's just a matter of sifting your way through all the information that's out there and figuring out what is true to you and then using that. And it was a long journey for me learning all these things. And much of it, I figured out, the angels helped me to see it. That thing with the ego, that was one day they said to me, you really should stop fighting with your ego and make friends. And I'm like, what? Because I hadn't really even thought about it. But in reflecting, when I was brought up, you were kind of trained to beware of your ego, that it was like your enemy and you were in conflict with it. And the angels say, no, that's not true. It's part of you. Why would you want to be at war with yourself? And so out of that emerged this sitting down and having the powwow with ego, higher self, and soul. And then this whole procedure came out about making friends, coming into oneness with ourselves, because that's what we're doing in this new enlightened age. We don't want to be separate parts. We want to come together. And that changes everything. It was a massive transformation when that happened. And these days, ego shows up sometimes, but it's really minor, not a big deal. We pretty much get along now. So highly recommended for everybody. Jilly, your dragon's name is Annabelle, and she's been with you many lifetimes. Every dragon needs a princess. That's so beautiful. Yeah, I love that people are waking up to the truth about the elementals and the dragons and all these wonders that are around us. It gives us such a magical life, which it was always intended to be. And now we can do that and experience it. Rachel, thank you. I'll ask those questions to learn more. Awesome. Let us know, because that's super exciting. Jenny wants to know how Mike is doing. Mike is doing better. I haven't talked to him this week. He was really struggling with getting set up at home, and he needed a special bed to have rails and, things to help him around the house. So he had some work to do to set that up, and, some conflicts there that he was having to deal with. And of course, being somebody who was so independent for so many years, to suddenly go through an experience like this and having to rely on other people, that was hard. He was having some adjustment issues, but the last time he wrote me, it sounded like he was in a better place. So I will get an update and let you guys know. Nancy, do your guides see you moving out of your house anytime soon? So for Nancy, is it highly likely that she'll be moving from her current house in the near future? Yeah, highly likely. Okay. Is it the optimal choice for her to move from her home in the near future? Yes. Okay, so are we talking like 2 months or less? Wow, soon. That is soon. 1 month or less? No. Okay, so between 1 and 2 months. Yeah, very cool. So I don't know if you're planning to do that, but It looks like all systems are go if that's what you want to do. You are so welcome, Beth. Nima. Felicity, thanks. Have I got any guides that are aligned to surrealism or specialists in this genre? I don't really understand that question, but I'll just ask it and we'll see what they say. So for Felicity, guides that are aligned to surrealism or specialists. Oh, yeah, baby. Just call on them. I'm seeing one who's doing the twist and just sliding across the floor, having fun. So that's kind of surreal. Yeah, they are there. You call on whatever it is you need specifically. You're allowed to do that. You can ask for any kind of angel you want. You can ask for multiples if you want. In fact, that's one of the things in the little book of meditations we talked about earlier. In the very beginning, Metatron talks about you are empowered to call upon the angels. Call for the kind you want, call for the quantity. You want a squadron, you want a battalion, you want a trio, you want burly angels. What do you want? Be specific. Ask for it. You will get special assignment angels to help you with anything you need. And they'll stay until that task is complete, and then they'll move on and help somebody else. That's in addition to the legion of angels that you already have who are taking care of you. You are just not short of angels in any way, shape, or form. So call specifically upon what you need. It's flowing out through your writing. And previously it was conceptual art. Oh, it's evolving. Yeah. But I'm seeing it. The art was there. That was the early signs of it. And now, yeah, it's morphing into the writing, but they're complementary. So it's expanding upon everything you do because all those components are needed for what you're moving into. And it's so perfect. So had you not been so awakened in this lifetime, Felicity, you might have missed the signs, the calling to do this work. And imagine how different your life would be. It would be like a big hole in your soul because that was there waiting to be birthed. So just gratitude, celebration that you were awakened enough and you explored it. You allowed yourself to be inspired following the breadcrumbs to do this. It's going to be a massive gift to the world. So keep going with joy, with excitement. It's like I'm seeing a volcano bubbling over, but in a very positive way. It's like bubbles coming out of the volcano that are happy, upbeat, and just delighting the children and the people because it's just so whimsical. Yeah, it's whimsical. It's deep like the volcano, but it's also whimsical. That's really cool. Lauren, hey, welcome. You were wondering what your next career path will be. Okay, so they won't tell you though, Lauren, but we'll see what they say. So for Lauren, is there a new career path on the horizon? They're saying, of course, if that's your desire, yes. So can you give her any hints about directions to go, where to look, what to do? And now I'm hearing you got that joy, 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 joy down in your heart. So it's approaching this career change with the perspective of something that brings you joy, that feeds your soul. Don't accept anything that doesn't feed your soul, because then you just be trading one job for another. You want something that lights you up, that feeds your soul, that is so meaningful to you. So do that for yourself. That's a gift you can give yourself. And you get to decide what that path is. The key is what feeds your soul. They don't care what you do, as long as you keep in mind that what feeds your soul is your purpose as a soul. That's what you came here to do, to find the thing that feeds your soul and do it. That's what brings meaning to your life. It brings expansion, brings more love. It so enriches your journey. It's so sweet and so wonderful. That's what they want for you. They want to celebrate with you. So now I'm seeing your angels grabbing your hands and you're all dancing in one of those circle dances like you see at weddings, where they get into the circle and they all dance and they kick up their feet. So your angels want to dance and celebrate with you. And now you're doing Ring Around the Rosie and you're all falling down in just joy and not exhaustion, but kind of spent energy because you celebrated so heartily. And it's just this feeling of satisfaction as you lay back on the ground and look up at the sky, feeling that, yeah, that was it. That's what it was all about. So that is all waiting for you. Your angels are waiting to take your hands and guide you towards whatever that thing is that feeds your soul. It's out there waiting for you, but you have to seek it out. You've got to take the action when they inspire you. When you get that thought, you get that message, the breadcrumbs, watch for them, take action, and it will happen sooner. So that timeline is up to you. It's about you taking action when you're inspired. Okay. Janny, you don't know about Surfing USA, except it's Beach Boys. Yeah. The song that's coming lately is Let Your Love Flow. Oh, that's beautiful. Yeah. And appropriate too, isn't it? Because what you're going through in your life right now, love is the cure for everything. It's the answer to everything. That's what you need. That's the balm to your soul for the healing and for the caregiving that you're doing for your granddaughter, for your family, but mostly for yourself. Let the love flow to Janny. Let that love flow to overflowing so that you are so filled up, there is not even a bubble's worth of room left in you. And you just feel so wonderful, so secure, loved, cared for. Every want, need, and desire taken care of by your angels and all that tremendous divine love that flows through you. It's really beautiful. So that's perfect. Thanks for sharing that. Let's see, we jumped again. So let's see if there's any message beyond that. I didn't see that question. Okay. So anything else you want to share with Janny? Yeah, what? Okay. Bring it. Yeah, so I'm not hearing that song. Definitely Let Your Love Flow. I'm seeing you in a bubble bath, Janny. So more self-care, definitely. And it feels like you've been carrying a bushel basket of worry. And I'm feeling it in your solar plexus, which is holding you back because that is your seat of power. And yeah, it's almost like a putrid pit in your solar plexus. So one of the healing meditations from the little book of meditations would probably be helpful to you. When you do the meditation, ask your angels to help you release that putrid pit, because I think we both know what that is, and heal that old trauma. Let it go. It's just rotting inside of you. You want to get it out, and make sure you release every last drop of it, every tendril of a root. Get it all out once and for all. It's time. You're ready. That's what they want you to know. I'm seeing them in there with crowbars, prying that thing out, helping you in any way that you allow them to. So self-care, allow the healing, and see where that takes you in the next month. Because, they're saying this is the time to do it because of all this powerful energy that's shifting, Janny. You need to get that out, uproot that, so that you will be prepared to move forward into what's coming in the next months. So very timely and important for you. Janny, the money, money, money song is ABBA. Oh, not that song. It's a different song. I know the ABBA song you're talking about, but there's a different one. It's kind of high pitched. ABBA's is money, money, money isn't funny. It's a rich man's world. The one I'm thinking of is different. Now I can't remember the tune, but I did it earlier. So now I can only hear ABBA. Anyway, hopefully the person that was for got it and we'll be able to figure it out. And Beth is saying, yeah, the lips do change. Is it like a certain age where they change, or is it constantly through our lives? Let us know about that. Hey, Steph, welcome. You're in a great situation. Well, hallelujah. I think that's the first time you've come saying that. Wonderful. What message is for you? So celebrating for you. What do you want to share with Steph tonight? Go, baby, go. Just, I'm seeing you you're standing in front of this pool and you just turn around and you lean back and you just gently fall into the water. It's just allowing yourself to be guided, not fighting with the guidance that is there, being in the flow. There you are, just floating on that beautiful pool of water, feeling so relaxed, supported, lifted up by your angels. You've shifted into that way of being. That's why life is feeling so good to you. Keep doing that. Now that you have figured out how to do that, that is your key. Keep doing it. It's so beautiful. Beth, the changes in the lips, it depends on what you're going through. Oh, okay. So like if you're going through a big trauma, it would cause a change. Likewise, if you're going through a really happy time, it would cause a big change. I think that's what you're saying. And it's about empowerment. Yeah. So Jilly, you're saying you want to learn more because your lips changed. Yeah. If you send me an email, if you and Beth aren't able to connect in chat, send me an email and I can connect the two of you. Because, yeah, you'd probably really enjoy chatting. Amy, you were expecting a new job to appear by now. Are you doing anything to delay it? Or are the angels still curling your path? So for Amy, this job, is there something blocking the job? Yes. Is it that she needs to look for a different job that would be more optimal? Yeah. It's like the one you've got your eye on isn't as perfectly aligned for you as it might have seemed before. Something has changed. So is there another job that's readily available for her to shift into? Yes. Is it in the same line of work that she's doing now? No, it's different. And I'm hearing dream job. So there's something that was lacking in that other job. Look for something that is more aligned to who you are, what you want to be, what you want to do, that will bring you that joy, that will feed your soul. Don't settle. That's what they're saying. Don't settle. Because you don't want to be that person that's in a soul-sucking job just to pay the bills. I mean, if you got to do that for a short time, yeah, you do that. But don't give up on yourself. You keep looking for that right opportunity that will feed your soul because it's out there. Sometimes you have to create it for yourself. Or sometimes it's about taking that proactive action where maybe you wouldn't have been considered for it, but once you step up, let them know you want it, then you get considered for it. So it's you taking more proactive action to get what you really want, as opposed to settling. So I hope that makes sense. Let me know. Oh, Victor, you spoke to Mike yesterday. He's recovering well. Awesome. Yeah, I'm due to get in touch with him. Hey, Johnny from the West Coast. Glad you could be here. Gianni, does the message from crows also include ravens? You saw 4 ravens. Let me ask. So the message from crows, does it include ravens? Do they bring a similar message? So that when Gianni saw 4 crows, it's the same message? Is there something else the ravens want to share? What do the ravens want to share? It's about waking up. They're screaming, wake up, wake up, wake up. So is that an alert that something's coming? Is that what it's about? Yeah, being on your toes. Are you saying there's some kind of environmental incident in Janny's area that she needs to be aware of? No, it's not that. Okay. Something energetic? Yeah. And is it like the false prophets? Is that what they're talking about? No. Okay, so it's not that. What is it? Precipitation? Well, you said it wasn't weather related, environmental related. It's precipitation? What, a lot? A lot of precipitation in a short time? Is that the entire thing that they're talking about? That's the first thing. There might be more. So kind of confusing, Janie, because they first said no, but then they showed me all this pouring rain. So I don't know if you're in a place where maybe you're going to get unexpected extra rain, but just be sure that you're following Metatron's guidance to have your go bag ready in case you need to go, and to have the supplies you need in case you get stuck in your place for a while. As long as you do that, you should be okay. Plus, of course, keeping your angels close by, ready to act on your behalf, and ask them to erect a dome, an energy dome around you and your property, so that the loved ones there are safe and cared for. Do that, and then you can feel better about it. But yeah, the ravens were talking about wake up, be on your toes, pay attention, because things are shifting fast right now. And some of it will shift because of the work that you and the others are doing on behalf of Gaia. Some of it won't, because there's only so much you can change. Some of it's just going to happen no matter. But yeah, you're doing all those things. That's perfect. Just stay on your toes. That's what they're saying right now. Jilly, was your health crisis in 2022 part of a karmic debt or a lesson? Okay, so for Jilly, the health crisis, is that related to karmic debt or past life in any way? Yes. Was there some lesson she was supposed to get out of that? Not a lesson specifically. Oh, okay. So there's some karma that's shifting. It's karma that's shifting and healing so it's creating like a healing crisis. Yeah. Something is shifting and releasing because of the work that you're doing, Jilly. So they want to validate that for you, that the things that you have been doing, what you're conscious of working on, those have an impact on your past lives and on some of that trauma. They may not totally clear it, but they can start eroding at it. We are capable of clearing a lot of this stuff on our own if we're conscious of doing it and intentional about doing it. So it's like, maybe that's not what you were focused on, but that was kind of a side effect of what you did. So that started that avalanche, the ball rolling down the hill, and it resulted in the physical symptoms that you had. So that's an outward sign of inward cleaning and clearing. I hope that makes sense. Let me know. And is it finally over? So has it cleared? Is it passed? Yeah, that one. They're giving me a visual. It's like passing a kidney stone. I don't know if it was that intense or not, but that's what they're giving me. So what you cleared was something big, something significant. So yeah, and it's now passed. Thank goodness. Linda, the experience you had early this morning, was it a fairy party or an angel team? Okay, for Linda, was there a fairy party for her this morning? And was it an angel? I'm getting both. They were both on hand. Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. What a way to start the day, with a fairy party, team of angels. Very cool. Victor, Mike is taking it slow and steady, but overall he's well. Awesome. Thanks for sharing that, Victor. Amanda, can you ask a personal metaphysical? Yeah, well, you notice everybody's asking personal questions. So unless we get a whole bunch of people coming asking metaphysical questions, then I just take whatever comes. One of these days, maybe that will actually happen. But yeah, I'm happy to answer your question, Amanda. Would it be an optimal choice to take your Reiki masters locally in April or London in July? So for Amanda, is it the optimal choice to take her Reiki masters in April? Yeah, that's a real positive. What about London in July? No. Interesting. Yeah, definite no on London. Is that because of the travel issues? Timing issues? Timing and travel. Yeah, the July does not it's not as aligned. It's like you could do it, but wouldn't be as great of an experience. It wouldn't be as smooth. April feels very smooth. All green lights on that one. Janny, you understand and totally support the psychology of gender dysphoria, but is there a root cause? Okay. So for Janny, is there a root cause to gender dysphoria? Yes. Yeah, I'm still getting it's because their soul is a different gender than their body. That's the root cause. It's like the princess and the pea. She could not sleep because of that tiny little pea. So for the person who has the opposite gender soul, it's like that constant irritation. It never goes away. They don't know what it is. They don't know how to change it, that something just feels off. Now, as they get older, then they will start connecting with, oh, I don't feel comfortable in this body. Maybe they will take on the attributes of a different gender because that's where they feel comfortable. And we'll see the outward manifestation of it. But yeah, it's like this constant irritant that they have to live with. So imagine you can't get any peace from that. It's always there. But flip that script. Imagine if somebody explained to you the reason you feel that way is because you have a gender of soul that's different than your body. And now it's like, oh, thank you. Now I know there's nothing wrong with me. It's the way I was made. It's the choice I made when I came into this body. And just, excuse me, having that peace of mind of knowing that they're not crazy, that there's a reason for this, that can change everything for them. So that's why I talk about it a lot. And Metatron brings it out every now and then, because people need to know this so that those who are experiencing it can find a way to have peace within themselves, with their soul. And those around them can also have peace and acceptance. That's what it's all about. Now, yeah, there can be some exceptions. So what do you want to tell us about the exceptions? It's like anything else where something in the body is just misaligned. It's like nerves firing. Sometimes they misfire. So there can be some that don't have the opposite gender soul, but there's something misfiring in their body that's causing this. So, okay, so if it's a misfiring, is there anything they can do about that? What would you recommend for those people? It's always about self-love, coming to peace and empowerment, rather than anything that you discover that seems wrong to you about yourself. It's an opportunity to learn and to heal. So it's not wrong. Creator says you're perfect. So there's nothing wrong with you. It's a matter of you not understanding how something works at the optimal level. So there's the invitation from your angels to dive in, do introspection, figure out what needs to be shifted, because everything can be. These bodies are perfect machines designed to heal themselves. So whatever's misaligned can be healed. It's incumbent upon us to do the introspection, to do the work, to find those pathways to healing. We're not always successful, but at least trying is better than ignoring it. So that's a really long pathway. I hope that makes sense and helps. Let me know. Jilly, beautiful message about gender dysphoria. You work for a children's hospital and you've been targeted for support of programs provided to these souls. Oh, that's beautiful. They need it. Bless you for doing that work. They really need it. Okay, hang on. We jumped again. And then, guys, I think we should stop with new questions at this point, and I'll just finish up what's left because we're getting down to the last 15 minutes. Steph, any messages from a burly group of angels to help you build trust? Yeah, call us and call us often, honey, because we got nothing to do unless you're calling us. Yeah. They're standing there with their arms crossed, real beefy arms. And yeah, big, burly. They want to help you, but you got to call them and you got to let them in. You call and then you don't follow through and open the door when they come in because you got busy, got distracted, forgot, whatever. But they're there waiting to get in. They won't give up on you. They'll always be there. So call, welcome them in. And then once you welcome them in, give them tasks to do. Don't let them stand around twiddling their thumbs. So it's keep asking them for things. I don't care how small it is. Keep asking. That's what they want you to do. Keep them busy. Because imagine how boring it would be to spend eternity with your soul that you are specifically assigned to, and they never talk to you or give you anything to do. Oh my gosh. So it's our responsibility to keep them busy. And we benefit from doing that. So why wouldn't we? Yeah. So just give them more to do. Be creative in what you ask them to do. That can even be entertaining you. Anything at all. Nothing is too small. Teresa, hey, welcome. You want advice on your health issue. You feel confused about directions you're taking. One is quantum healing and the other is traditional herbalist. Oh, cool. So for Teresa, is the optimal choice quantum healing? That's a big yes. What about herbalist? That's also a big yes. Both at the same time? Yes. I don't know. Is that possible? Can you do them both? Or maybe you kind of do them staggered because they're both feeling very positive choices for you, Teresa. So it could be just a matter of timing because I'm seeing you combining them. It's not either or, it's, yeah. I think I got that text wrong, but anyway, both of them are a great match for you. So maybe you do one, then you do the other, whatever feels best to you. But yeah, they're both great matches. Nancy, thank you for the advice and help. You are welcome. Janny, the lyrics for Let Your Love Flow are perfect, and you've read them several times. Your solar plexus is a putrid pit, and you will do the meditations. Awesome. I'm so glad. You deserve it. Let that love flow and just clear it all out. It's time. It's like raw sewage. Ooh, ooh. Yeah, I just got that in my body. Ooh, let that go, please. That's nasty. It's got to go. Nancy, Pink Floyd Money? No, because that's the one where you hear the cash register and it's like dun, 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 dun. Money. That's a whole different vibe than the one I was hearing. Yeah, I don't know. If I find it, I'll let you know. Hopefully the person it was for will recognize it. Beth, it's constant depending on how much sleep, water, and food. The lips change depending on hydration, then, is what you're saying. Interesting. Because mine have changed, way drier, and I'm hydrating like crazy. So it's just weird. It's definitely something with aging that has changed them. And that's one of those surprises. When you get older, they don't tell you to expect all these kinds of weird things. But yeah, that's just one of the things that you have to experience. Steph, being in the flow is perfect always for everybody. Yeah. Influence of others. That changes your lips? Interesting. And there are 25 categories. So there you guys go. Lipsology, reading your lips to like reading your palm, 25 categories of things it could be. Interesting. Thank you for sharing all that, Beth. That's really cool. Chrissa, you heard her sing the Money, Money, you thought of the Apprentice theme song. Ah, that I don't know. Cece, hey, you made it live. Congratulations. Glad to have you here. The OJ's Money song, that one I don't know either. I'll have to go listen to these that you guys suggested and see if I can find that one. And I can always post it later in comments. So if you want to know, check back in comments. Steph, thank you. You finally accepted that right now is about healing and you're unsure of the future of this position. That's okay. Take it a day at a time. The healing is your most important thing right now. That's the priority, and let the others just flow. It'll be okay. Once you have the healing, that changes everything. Then you'll have a whole different perspective on where you go and what you do. Oh, Chris is saying, yeah, to Jilly that it was the OJ's Money song. Okay, cool. Thank you. Auntie D, any plants that Metatron recommends you bring into your home that are cat safe? Ooh, interesting. So for Auntie D, any plants? Well, catnip, of course, you can bring that in, but you might not want to. Might make them too crazy. Any plants that would be cat safe for Auntie D to bring into her home? Geraniums? Are geraniums cat safe? That's what I'm seeing. I'm smelling. I don't like geraniums. Ooh, I'm smelling and seeing geraniums. So that's one. I think they're pretty hardy plants. Anything else that you recommend for Auntie D? Plants that are cat safe. Oh, there's this one that's tall and green and it's got yellow in it. I think it might be called mother-in-law's tongue or something like that. So those kind of plants they're showing me. What about succulents? Succulents would be good. Oh, yeah, succulents. I'm seeing that little cactus, that little round one with the white spines that stick out, because the cats are probably not going to want to mess with that. So if you're wanting plants just to have plants, succulents would probably be a good thing. What about aloe? Is aloe a good choice? No, aloe's not a good choice. I don't know how cats get along with aloe. That's a no. Thank you, Nima. You're seconding that it was the OJ song. Okay, cool. Julie, you had to Google it because you kept hearing Pink Floyd. Awesome. Thanks, you guys, for helping with the music. Sometimes it's a mystery. Cece, what's going on with your back? Can you heal it? Okay, so for Cece, what's happening with her back? Upper back? What about lower back? I'm feeling upper back like kind of midway across your shoulders. I'm feeling something. I don't know if that's what you're feeling. Okay, is this something she can heal? No. Is it a physical condition that needs 3D treatment? I get a big yes on that. So I don't know if you've seen the doctors or not. Tramiel, would Tramiel be helpful? I get a yes on the Tramiel. That would be helpful. And if you don't have that link, email me and I'll send it to you. It's a homeopathic kind of a broad span that deals with kind of that bruised feeling pain. It also deals with issues with muscles, tendons, ligaments, and bones, all of that in one, and nerves too. It's really a great remedy. So until you get help from the 3D world, the Tramiel could give you relief. So hopefully that helps. Oh, not Moni Moni, Linda. That one I would have known in a minute. I used to dance to that all the time. Nancy, For the Love of Money by the OJs talks about what people will do for the love of money. Interesting. Yeah, I don't remember that song, but a couple of people said that was the one, so I'm going to go with that. Jilly, thank you. It was kidney stones last March and you got septic. Oh my gosh, near-death experience. Oh, I'm so sorry. But delighted that you came through it okay. So, wow. Did you pass them? Is that why I was feeling that pain? Wait, it just jumped again. Oops, come back, come back. You're still working through all the emotions, and even after coming out of the hospital, the stones never really went away and you had surgery. Oh. I've heard vinegar is good for kidney stones. And there's some other remedy I heard recently. I think I put it in my database. So if you're looking for more remedies, shoot me an email about that, because I'm a nut about natural remedies. So I'm always collecting that information. Janny says, thank you for the gender dysphoria clarification. It makes sense. Oh, I'm so glad. It's kind of complicated to explain, but if you're talking to somebody who's going through it, they'll get it. They'll feel it. And just the acceptance and the validation that they're not crazy, that there's a reason they feel this way is so massive. It's a gift we can give to them. Just one more little way we can help change the world. Nancy, you're saying kidney stones are little balls of anger. Yeah, that makes sense. And Jilly, you said that they're bad enough, then add a kidney stent and special kind of torture. Oh my gosh. Well, I'm so glad you came through that and you're okay. Alyssa, you're enjoying the angel messages. I'm so glad. Yeah, I'm so grateful to all of you for showing up, because otherwise I'd be sitting here by myself twiddling my thumbs. And this is good. We all need to get together and keep expanding our understanding and knowledge of what's going on out there. There's just so much to learn. Alyssa, how do we know if we completed a soul contract, like with your husband? Well, let's just ask that. So for Alyssa, has she completed her soul contract with her present husband? Yes. So, yeah, I guess that's all you were asking. So hopefully that helps. Teresa, it was appreciated. You are so welcome. Let us know about that. That's really exciting. Sending you all best wishes on that, because those are really great things to pursue. Jilly, you had a fungus and 2 separate bacteria in your blood. Oh my gosh. And the bacteria was from the stent, the fungus, you don't know. Perfect storm. Yeah, I hear so many stories about people who go to the hospital and pick up extra things they didn't have before they got there. It's just a sad state of affairs on our hospitals these days. Richard, you saw a documentary called Heal. Okay, I haven't heard about that one, but anybody who's looking for that, check out the documentary called Heal. Oh, I love all the emojis. Thank you, Cece. Richard, you are coming in on 4th or 5th, the love of money, the OJs. Okay, cool. Jilly, thank you. And to all in chat for being so welcoming. You are so welcome. So glad you could be here. It was a wonderful surprise. Steph, Sansevieria or mother-in-law's tongue? That's the plant that I was thinking of. Thank you. Oh, I just got another picture. There's one called Wandering Jew that's green and purple. And it's a really cool plant because it will just wander, and these trains of it go all over the place. You can trim it or let it go. Let's just ask though, is Wandering Jew safe to have around cats? Yes. So that's why I got the picture. That's weird. It just popped in there, but there it is. Sometimes they do that. There's like this boomerang after effect and something will pop in. You'll check out the plants. Awesome. Oh, Jilly, you didn't pass them. They tried laser, but you had to have surgery. Oh my gosh. So hopefully you found some way of changing your lifestyle so that they won't repeat, because I hear a lot of people who it happens multiple times to them. So obviously there's something off environmentally, diet, something that's connected to that. And again, I probably have that information in my database, but I'm not remembering it right now. Richard, could this issue to watch for concerning money have to do with my daughter-in-law? Thank you for bringing that up. Let's ask. So for Richard, the money issue, is it about his daughter-in-law? Yes. So there's something Richard can do by being watchful? Yes. Yeah, and now I'm seeing you, like the scout watching. So vigilance is important for this, so that you can head off trouble at the pass, because it's something that could be, I'm hearing catastrophic. I'm sorry to say that, but I'm hearing catastrophic. So you being vigilant would make a huge difference, Richard. Not to worry you, because we don't want to get into that worry energy. It's just like, okay, now I know what to look for, so I'm prepared. That's the energy you want to take away from this. And of course, always remember to stay in the flow, because that will serve you. Namaste to you, Mark. Thank you. Alyssa, how do we know when we've completed a soul contract? So, is there a way, a sign that somebody would know that they've completed a soul contract? Well, yeah, you can look in your records, it's there. Sometimes, if you're aware of the contract to begin with, you might feel a shift in your body. And I'm seeing it like almost like a click. You know how gears will turn and it's like click, or a safe when you turn and it clicks at spots? It's almost like that kind of a ephemeral feeling that you might get in your body, noticing something just kind of clicks into place. And maybe you can't identify what it is at the time, but you remember that you had that feeling, that eventually your angels will help you connect the dots to what that was about. So yeah, sometimes you could feel it in your body. Most people aren't aware they have the contract, so it's not an issue for them. But you can also, if you know there's a contract and you'd like to end it, you can, because you are a sovereign soul, state, I am ending, severing this contact, releasing all energetic connections, whatever feels good to you to do. Because you don't have to continue with any contracts. They're not necessary anymore. They're an old modality that we once needed. We don't need them anymore. So any old remaining contracts need to be cleared, let go, and know that whatever's going on with you and another soul, you can complete that or not complete that. That's up to you. You don't need a contract to force that anymore. It's like vows to God. In past days, souls took a vow to God of, chastity, obedience, suffering, all kinds of nasty things. Why would you want to do that to yourself? And God, Creator, is like, you don't need to do that. I'm not asking that of you. Stop punishing yourself. So all those old modalities are just no longer necessary. We've evolved past that state. That was more a superstitious time when people did those things and felt like they had to beg and plead for Creator to get favor. And it was never true. And it's certainly not true now. So being aware of that, letting that all go, will serve you. Alyssa, is it best that we move on after a contract is completed, or change things to discover new contracts, moving, changing jobs? Yeah, moving on as you feel led to. You've got that energetic connection that's gone, that tie between you, that cord. So you're no longer being controlled by that or influenced by that. And it's up to you what you do. What brings you joy, fun, and peace? What feeds your soul? Those are the things you want to be conscious of and moving into. Let go of all those things that don't serve you. No matter what anybody told you, they don't serve your soul, then they're not helping and they need to go. You are welcome, Richard, Janie, Amy. Yeah. Okay, well, it's after 9, but not too late. So thank you all for coming. I really appreciate it. Remember, we'll be gathering on Zoom on the 3rd Saturday. So if you're on my VIP list, you will get the Zoom link. Got to be on the VIP list for that. If you're not, go to akashaunleashed.com/VIP, and I'll type that in for you real fast. There you go. And remember, if you haven't checked out Little Book of Meditations, you need this book. Metatron created this for us right now because we're living in a time that is so trying and it's really taxing us. So these 18 meditations, there's something for everyone to get you through situations, to feel healed, to feel loved, to celebrate. And there are 2 different meditations in there where you as an infant are cradled in the arms of God. Now, can you imagine what that feels like? And then your Creator looks into your eyes. You see yourself reflected in Creator's eyes. It is the most profound, sacred experience you could ever have. So don't miss out on that. It's just so wonderful. And Little Book of Meditations is on Amazon. It's in Kindle Unlimited. So if you've got that plan, you can go get it right away and, start benefiting from it. But the meditations are all written out so that you can read them, get familiar with the rhythm and the cadence, and then use the link in the book to get the audios. So when you listen to the audio, you can just flow with it. No wondering about what's coming next and being distracted. Metatron wants you to get the fullness of every one of those experiences. So it's there for you. All right. Thank you, everybody. Much love to you. I will see you soon. Bye.